pass things over to Bayla and Rey and Deborah to talk a little bit about the streams in which we fund and our Community Impact Award. So I will do the introductions. Look at that. Rey Cunanan. Oh, Rey, you're such a great addition to the team. Rey is a financial service professional with a passion for work, charity, and culture. He's a graduate of McMaster University with a BA in honors in economics. After graduating, Rey lived in Spain and France. Oh, funny, you're traveling back to Spain and France to study languages and work as a business English teacher and corporate events organizer. With volunteer experiences ranging from fundraising to food banks and education, Rey is happy to get involved at Kiwanis and help organizations get the support they need to do great work. And as I said, Rey is a member of the foundation board. This is now his second year, and it's lovely to have him with us. I will also read the bios for Deborah and Bayla now, and then I'll pass things over to Bayla. So Deborah Knight is a seasoned marketing and public relations professional with over 30 years of experience in arts and culture industries. Deborah has enjoyed mentoring young people, a lot of them through Kiwanis, and the Key Clubs, and she has been a part-time college professor in arts and entertainment management, focusing on music business at Durham College, Centennial College, and Trebas Institute in Toronto. She's the founder of the Water Drop Project, very cool, in Jamaica, in 2015, which now supplies over 50 elementary schools with water tanks in Jamaica as a legacy project for Kiwanis International. And if you'd like to see really fun photos of Deborah doing the Water Drop Project, you just need to ask one of us and we will share them. She's a past board member for the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation, past board director of the Kiwanis Club of Toronto, past president of the Kiwanis Club of Toronto, past lieutenant governor of Kiwanis District in the Greater Toronto Area, past distinguished district administrator for Key Clubs in Eastern Canada District, and she's currently serving board member of the University of Toronto Alumni Board of Directors, UTSC. Deborah, that's quite the introduction. And I'm sure we even left out a few of your Kiwanis titles, honestly. Bayla Lazarus, while giving generously of her time to family, friends, and many charitable causes, Bayla began her financial services career at RBC, Global Asset Management, gaining in-depth knowledge. Carrie, can you move the screen down for me? Thank you. Of the products and services investment advisors could offer clients. Bayla then excelled as an associate investment advisor and financial planner with another major Canadian bank, and after 6 successful years, returned to the RBC family just recently as an investment advisor and financial planner with RBC Dominion Securities. And if you didn't catch my one line earlier, Bayla is also the vice chair of the foundation. So as I step down this year, after having served for 6 fantastic years, Bayla will be taking over the chair position for the foundation. So while she's out and about in the community, learning about charities that we're going to work with, I will be sitting back with my feet up. Thank you, Bayla. Just kidding. No, I won't. Okay, so I'm gonna pass things over. I think Bayla, you're our first speaker today. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay, over to you then.
Okay, so I'm Bayla Lazarus, as Andrea mentioned, and today I'm a board member of the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation and a member of the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation Grants Committee. So for years, the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation has been providing grants to charities that offer programs to children and youth focused on initiatives that align with our strategic focus. For 2025, we will continue this process. Our grants will focus on 2 areas: leadership development and mentorship, and arts and culture. We will also be offering 1 Community Impact Award. I will provide you with an overview of the Community Impact Award. Rey will focus on the leadership and mentorship grants, and Deb will focus on the arts and culture grants. We ask that you hold your questions until the end, and our committee members will be on hand to address these questions. And just up front, I'll also let you know that these grants can be awarded together, meaning you can win a community impact award as well as one of the other streams. So I know that that's typically a common question. So as we're going through the different types of grants, you know that you can apply for both. As with last year, the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation will be offering a Community Impact Award for one exceptional charity in the amount of $40,000. All applicants to the Leadership, Mentorship grants, and the Arts and Culture grants are encouraged to apply. The recipient of the Community Impact Award will be a charity that best explains how these additional funds of $40,000 will impact the organization, their existing programming, and the community through new and innovative programming. Funds cannot be used for programming that has already taken place or costs that have already been incurred. The Community Impact Award application requires a separate submission on the grants application website. You will have to repeat some information about the organization when the Community Impact Award application is submitted. The past recipient, Urban Promised, launched the Urban Trekkers program, a new initiative that was to be piloted alongside their regular programming. This program is designed to expose participants ages 5 to 24 to the diversity of people, places, natural landscapes outside of their everyday lives. The additional funding provided hands-on learning, travel, adventure, and character development to help shape resilient, informed, and socially engaged youth who contribute positively to their communities who contribute positively to their communities. The program adopted a comprehensive approach, treating the world as a classroom and emphasizing experiential learning, mentorship, journaling, and debriefing. Key areas of focus: environmental awareness, so engaging in outdoor experiences such as hiking, treetop trekking, camping, and canoeing, aims to deepen youth's understanding of the connection between their actions and their environment. Historical perspectives, so visits to significant historical sites like the Underground Railroad and museums, provide youth with insights into their history, fostering a connection to their heritage. Community service, active involvement in planning and executing activities, cultivates youth's sense of responsibility towards others and their communities, instilling value of giving back. And mentorship. Urban Trekkers places a strong emphasis on mentorship, connecting youth with leaders who understand the unique challenges faced by youth in marginalized communities, thereby enhancing their support network. The Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation was proud to support this valuable initiative and looks forward to reviewing applications for this year's Community Impact Award. So now I'm going to pass it over to Ray, who will discuss the Mentorship and Leadership Development Grants.
Thank you, Bayla. And just a quick note, Andrea, that Kiwaniverse term, I'm gonna throw that into a couple meetings from now on. Okay, so thank you, everyone. Hi, my name is Rey Cunanan. I've been a member of Toronto Kiwanis for a little over 2 years, and I have had the honor of being part of the Grants Committee last year. So I'm very happy to be with you here today and share with you a little bit of behind the scenes of the grant process. So the committee, the Grants Committee, it's a very rewarding place to be. Being part of a group that gets to see, talk to, support charities that are doing great work for kids and youth in Toronto, the Toronto community, and building leaders of the future. Our committee is a very diverse and passionate group of individuals, and working on the grants is a very collaborative process. We try our best to make the process as easy and straightforward for all of the applicants, and every year we're looking for innovative ways to get more charities to apply. The members of the committee are involved in all stages of the process, from application to selecting charities. I always find that having this diverse, passionate group involved helps bring different points of view, helps us make the application process better and better each year. So with regards to our focus area, last year we continued the work to support great leadership programs that focused on building resilient communities. We continued the tradition from the previous 4 years of providing grants for leadership, excuse me, and mentorship initiatives that helped kids and youth build transferable leadership skills, such as decision making, teamwork, goal setting, time management, community involvement, and to get them inspired to become leaders in their communities. What I personally find all very exciting about this is that these kinds of programs create a powerful ripple effect that goes beyond the program itself. When kids are taught critical leadership skills, they model them through their behaviors, creating a positive circle of influence that really magnifies the impact. So, what are we looking for in grants applications? We look at the impact the programs had on kids. This is always at the top of mind for us. If I look back to last year's applicants, some programs focus on breadth of reach and impacting as many kids as possible, while some focus on a few kids and the depth of the experience. We welcome both of these approaches. There's no one perfect way to do this, and each program has its benefits and impacts kids and youth in different ways. So we really consider both types of programs. Some recipients of our leadership and mentorship grants came from charities that impacted as little as 15 children, while others provided services that impacted well over 100 children. But the common element across all the recipients is that they tend to be small to medium-sized organizations providing valuable services to their local communities, from camps and workshops to structured mentorship programs. Okay, there was also tremendous diversity in how the programs interacted with their community. We had recipients that had programs that had widespread reach, as well as programs that had extensive depth. These programs built a foundation that allowed for previous program participants to return as facilitators for new participants. We also had recipients who managed to combine both depth and reach. We were especially excited to see applications that were not just looking at sponsoring existing programs, but we're looking at how to use the funds to create new initiatives, or to take existing ones and take them to the next level to expand the impact. And what makes an application successful is clearly demonstrating the connection between the program and the impact that it will make on the community in terms of the number of kids and youth impacted, for how long, and in what way. Like helping a specific number of kids stay active and connected to others, or connecting kids with peers and mentors on a regular basis, or providing workshops in specific areas. So all of this really helps us as a committee to make a connection, between all of these parts and truly understand the impact. Another common element of a successful application is having updated, detailed, and accurate financial information. So if you have a program that can help kids and youth become leaders in their communities, this is really a great opportunity to get support from Kiwanis. And I'm really looking forward to seeing all the initiatives that will be put forward by our applicants this year, and by learning about how you will change your community. Thank you. And off to Deb.
That was fantastic. Building on what Ray says, the arts and culture grants are very, very similar in that capacity. My name is Deborah Knight, and I've been involved in Kiwanis for 20 years now. Kiwanis is certainly a huge part of my life. I'm currently on the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation Grants Committee in the Arts and Culture section. This year, we're going to be giving out 10 arts and culture grants In 2021, it was the first time that we actually gave out these grants, and it was in response to the various financial cutbacks that we experienced in the arts and culture sector during the pandemic, and the difficulty in delivering a lot of the programs at that time. So the arts and culture grants from the Kiwanis Club of Toronto Foundation will support initiatives that facilitate the creation of art as a tool for the development of young minds, as well as in some cases supporting mental health of children and youth in Toronto. And these grants will fund programs that encourage young people to express themselves through creative endeavors. Similar to the mentorship and leadership development grants, there has been an extensive variety of arts and culture programs that we've seen apply for grants in the past. And there's a huge breadth of cultural and creative expression. So what we've seen is things as wide-ranging as mural painting, dance, music creation, summer camps, and all these programs are, all these programs are usually programs that are being created for the first time or being built upon an existing program. Last year was the third year that we used the Good Grants granting platform for arts and culture grants. And we've noticed that the charities who have previously applied for the leadership and mentor grants were very, they successfully also would apply for arts and culture grants. So there is that category where you can sort of apply for two if you feel that you have the ability to deliver programs in various areas. So while charities are invited to submit an application in both streams, it is really recommended, though, that you submit the application in the stream where your organization can showcase itself the strongest. So we know that all organizations will submit an application are supporting their communities in different ways. And this grant stream allows us to support more organizations doing good work. So we look forward to receiving your applications this year and learning about how you'll contribute to the community through the arts.
Fantastic. Thank you, Deborah. And thank you, Ray, for going over the leadership and mentorship grants, and Bayla, the Community Impact Award. So what we're going to do now is we're going to open it up to questions. So given that we have now 83 participants, I'm going to go through a list of frequently asked questions, and I'm going to answer those ahead of time. So I'll do that right now. While I'm doing that, if you do have a question, I would ask you please to drop it into the chat. And when I'm finished going over the FAQs, I'll go through the chat and maybe my facilitators can help Deborah, Bayla, and Ray, and then together we can answer the questions that are in the chat, okay? So here are some of the questions that we get, or rather Carrie Ann, who's our executive manager for our Kiwanis Club, gets multiple people asking. So she has provided these answers for us today. So you just heard Deborah say, can a charity submit an application to both granting streams? Yes, the software allows you to do that, but swim in your own lane. Maybe choose your best option for your programming and only make one application. How strict is the application deadline? It's very strict. And maybe Carrie Ann, if you have the capacity, you could drop that deadline in the chat just to remind everyone. It is very strict. That's dictated by the software that we use, Good Grants. And we also have a back-end process whereby that is the deadline. The granting software shuts down for incoming applications. And the very next day, the adjudicators get working on those applications. So it takes us about 2 weeks. We are a small but mighty team. And we split up the work that we do, where we have people reviewing the leadership and mentorship grants, and then we have people reviewing the arts and culture grants, and then we come together and review the Community Impact Award grants. So yes, you have to make that deadline, please and thank you. How many grants will be awarded for each stream? So this is a great question, and it also comes to us in various forms. So we aim to award, it's somewhere around 20 grants. So we fund around $100,000 in each of those streams. And the maximum application per grant is $10,000. So if you did the quick math, it's around 20 grants. Now, we do have organizations that submit for less than $10,000, and that's quite fine. You don't have to have your budget match exactly $10,000. If the cost of your program is $6,423 and that's what your budget is, then please submit for $6,423, okay? You don't have to make it up to the 10,000 line. So that's why we say we fund in and around 20 organizations. And then there is only one Community Impact Award winner. Can I apply for the Community Impact Award only? The answer is no, you cannot at this time. We'd like to see you make the application for one of the two streams, and then in addition, make your Community Impact Award. It gives us a better sense of your organization as a whole. And so the answer is no, you cannot just apply for the Community Impact Award, which is $40,000. Can I apply if I'm a registered not-for-profit without a charitable business number? Yes, you can. As long as you are working with a trustee, there is a spot in the application in which you can detail that information for us by providing the trustee's charitable information, and you can make the application. Here's one of Carrie Ann's favorites. What if I have already applied, but my attachments are too large for this system? What can I do? So the answer to that is try to resize it or use a Google Drive link for your attachments and ensure you provide access to the documents. Often we get tripped up in the technical stuff, so please try those before you attempt to reach out to somebody from Kiwanis. Can other Kiwanis clubs apply for grants? The answer at this time is no. We're looking to serve our Toronto charitable community outside of the work that we do with other Kiwanis clubs. What does strategic focus mean? Oh, that's one of the questions within the application. So strategic focus is, the critical areas that our club tries to impact in the community is sort of the short answer for that. So those are a lot of the frequently asked questions. Maybe now I'll try to go to the chat and see if anyone has dropped in. Welcome. Okay, so here's one question. Is there any kind of support we can get on how to strengthen our application or receive feedback on it? Well, your first step is really coming to this meeting. I would say review what you can on the Kiwanis website and take a look at how Kiwanis talks about itself and its positioning in the community. And make sure that you're matching some of that language to the work that you're doing. If you're somebody within your organization that applies frequently for grants, you'll know that when you're able to match that language, which isn't terribly difficult, that is picked up on the end of the reviewers, right? If you're talking sort of the same language and how you're serving the community. So I would make that recommendation. If I heard right, it sounds like the arts and culture grants mostly go towards new programs. Could an arts and culture grant potentially support the expansion of an existing program? Deborah, do you want to take that one?
The answer is yes, because we know that you, as an arts organization, you're building on programs and you may not be able to create anything entirely brand new. So we just want to understand what the money would be used for if you were expanding an idea, a creative project, or expanding the impact on youth.
Yes, great answer. Another question, did you say the trustee has to be a charity or can they be a registered not-for-profit? The trustee has to have a charitable number. So you have to be working with somebody that has a registered charitable number, and that has to be dropped into the application.
And I just had a point, Andrea, before you go on to the next question, and I'm going to have to sign off a few minutes before the call ends. Everyone, my apologies. But I just wanted to highlight, I think when you're writing your applications, to really take a look at how you're expanding access. So it might be that you've received the grant in the past, and that's fine. You can apply every year, and we encourage that. But I would say if you're a recurring recipient, maybe focusing on how you're expanding access to your programs from the previous programs that you had won the grant for, that would be a great thing to highlight. Sorry to interject, Andrea. Didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nope, that's
Thank
great.
you, everybody, for joining. Sorry, I have to leave a few minutes early. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks, Bayla. Next question on the list here. What, if any, programming related costs are ineligible for funding? Oh, Sophie, this is my favorite question. There are none. There are none, zero. So I'm somebody who works in the charitable space as well. And I know sometimes it's challenging when you're making an application or you're putting a proposal together for a funder and they have a list of ineligible costs. There are none here. I would like to fast forward 5 years where we just have a granting year that pays for everyone's electricity or it pays for everyone's staffing costs. Some of those more challenging pieces to cover off in your budget, Kiwanis will cover them. So please make sure your budget is detailed. And if 90% of your budget is to pay for staff, fantastic. If you're incorporating your operation costs to run the building where your programming takes place, fantastic. Our only ask is that you make your budget easy to read and digestible. Remember, like we're a whole bunch of volunteers doing this, so make it easy for us to understand.
Andrea, there's a good
yeah.
question in the chat with regards to blending an application.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to cover off that one? Go ahead.
Oh, sure. I was going to say we have not, to my knowledge, received a blended application before. So I would, when you say it's hard for you to decide which lane you're going to swim in, this might actually answer your question. If you are an arts organization, then apply as an arts organization because you're going to have an advantage over someone who's in, say you're a charity or you're doing great work in the community, but you don't have any arts and culture programming to date. What we're trying to do with arts and culture anyway is support the arts and culture community. So we are looking for, the longevity. We're looking for your to help that community, prop them up a little bit because they've been so hurt by many of the cutbacks in grants and funding issues.
Yeah, for sure.
So if you're developing an arts program for the very first time, probably this is not the category for you. So stick with something else. If you can do leadership just as well, or some of the other categories called just community impact and
yeah, arts and culture, leadership and mentorship.
Mentorship and leadership. Yeah, if those areas are also strong and you're not an actual arts organization, I would encourage you to go into those areas instead.
Yeah, I agree. Another one, Lakeshore Arts. What is the timeline when programs need to take place? We're going to say within the year would be sort of the parameters. So the funding cycle is May. So applications, Carrie Ann put it up here. Applications close at 11:59 on April the 7th. So that's Monday, April the 7th, 11:59, no later. And then you will be notified in May if your application was successful. And so we'd like to see the program wrapped up by May the following year would be helpful. Okay, great. You answered Ravi's question. Jenny, how many awards are available under the leadership stream? So Jenny, I'm going to say we'll say around 10. Again, the funding for that stream for leadership and mentorship is $100,000, and then the funding for arts and culture is $100,000. So we get to around maybe 10, maybe 11. If an organization comes in under the $10,000, we might be able to fund one additional organization under that stream. Caitlin, one of our programs is a weekend camp that takes place in June. Oh, I think I sort of just answered that, Caitlin. We're gonna try to get notification out. Oh, Carrie Ann put it in the chat by May the 5th. So that's our goal. It's about 1 month from when the applications close. Since there's only one community grant awarded, would our chances of getting grant be higher if we apply only to arts as opposed to arts and culture? No, so there's no sort of preference as to whether the community impact award is going to be arts and culture or leadership. We simply just review them all together, and then we have a discussion on the strongest application. So there's no preference over stream. Okay, funds will be.
Andrea,
Okay, yeah,
there's
go
one
ahead.
from Codina about feeding Canadian kids. Can you see that in the chat?
No, I've missed it, but go ahead and take it, Deb.
Well, this is an interesting one. So Codina was curious to know if the three of us or one of us could meet with her prior to submitting the applications. And we don't usually have a history of doing that because our committees are actually quite big. We have like 7 to 10 people on our committees. And so therefore we just ask that if you have any questions in the application process, that you connect with Carrie Ann by email. Otherwise, we actually are not in the habit of meeting with charities prior to, so that all of us are seeing the applications for the very first time on the committee.
Correct. Okay. I don't think, if you're also looking at the chat, Deborah, have we missed anything else? I think we've covered everything else.
How many awards are available under the leadership stream?
Yeah, so roughly 10 under leadership and 10 under arts and culture, and then 1 community impact award.
So the next one would be.
Okay. I think we've covered them all.
That's it.
Yeah, I think we've covered them all off.
Yeah. Are there any additional questions that people want to raise their hand and elaborate verbally?
Okay, we have an additional question here from Ravi. If you're one of the 20 grants, who get a grant, does that help or impede your chances for the Community Impact Award? Well, I did say you can only apply for the Community Impact Award if you have already made your application for one of the 2 streams. I don't think it impedes your chances for the Community Impact Award. We would like, so I'll give you sort of some rough numbers. We had just over 200 applications last year. And of those, I would say 10%, around 10, maybe close to 15%, applied for the Community Impact Award. So we would like to see more organizations applying for the Community Impact Award this year. It would be great. It's $40,000 and you receive those funds over and above your $10,000 in your stream. So it's $10,000 plus $40,000. Okay, we'll go to okay, another one in the chat. Andrea, did you say that the trustee has to be a charity or can they be a registered nonprofit? They have, very important here, they have to have a charitable number. So they have to have that. If you work with a trustee to obtain funding, then they have a charitable number that you will use, and you have to put that into the application. Another important point here, we're getting ready to finishing, but Carrie Ann has said all successful applicants will be invited to the award ceremony on June the 6th for what we call the Kiwanis Cocktail Royale Party. This will be, I think, our 4th year doing this post-COVID, 3rd, maybe 4th. and you will receive your award. And we will celebrate the Community Impact Award recipient that night. So the Community Impact Award recipient is kept quiet, only among the grants committee until that evening, and we make a live announcement with hopefully all of our award recipients in the room. You will be notified that night that you're the $40,000 award winner. Okay, we have time just for another couple of questions. Viva Singers ask, does the Community Impact Award go to those who are not awarded another grant? Okay, so I think I just answered that. You're also going to be, remember, you can't apply for the Community Impact Award on its own. You have to be in one of the streams. Okay, and a bunch of people saying thank you. So you're welcome. This is always a fun session for us to do. We always have new questions that come up, which help us to sort of guide how we approach these questions in the community and how we're best able to answer them to see, 200 plus successful applications coming in before 11:59 on Monday, April the 7th. Please remember that.
I just add one more thing before you close?
Sure. Add one more thing, Deborah.
The Community Impact Award is often a dream award. It's something that you could not do unless you had that money. So think about it from that point of view, that if it is a brand new idea, that's fantastic. We want you to apply for the other streams, but the other streams can be something different. And then you go and you apply for community impact, and that can be an entirely new idea that you couldn't actually do unless you had that $40,000. So we wanted you to think about it this way. It's not just to add to your budget or add to the application that you've already done. We want you to perhaps begin a dream, or maybe, fulfill a dream by something entirely different. So, don't be shy to just throw an idea out there, and, we'd love to see them.
Yeah, that's a great way to close out this session, Deb. Thank you. So thanks again to Deborah for her expertise in the arts and culture stream, and Ray for covering off the leadership and mentorship stream, and Bayla for talking about our Community Impact Award. We do have a couple for Kiwanians in the Kiwaniverse. There you go, Ray. I said it again. We have a couple of dates down at the bottom here that you should take a look at for your calendars. And a very big thank you to our executive manager, Carrie Ann Watkis, who put this session together, provided all of the information for our guest speakers and our facilitators to share with you, our community. So best of luck to everyone making your applications before 11:59 on April the 7th. And like Ray said earlier, we really look forward to seeing your hopes and dreams and all the great programming that you're going to undertake to lift up our community. So thank you all. And with that, have a great day.
Thank you.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much.